healthy eating. I mean, you have to do all social isolation. In order you do stuff all that you can do. Then, if you testing, I mean, I think testing is important. If you were tested and you're COVID-19 free, and Kid is, and Lynn, who just joined us, is, then we could all get together in a meeting. Because and the odds are, you're always playing the odds. The odds are everything will be fine. The reason I say odds, well, Lynn could have jumped and met somebody. He could have jumped into somebody who was contagious before the meeting. I mean, so the thing is, what you're doing is you're reducing the probability of us being infected. If we tested people and they were certified, I think everybody could get on a plane and fly to New Delhi with no problem. If we were all tested prior to getting on the plane, hey, look, everybody's fine here, get on the plane, the pilot clean, we can all go to New Delhi. But our leaders have come up with no tangible solution, which is, like I say, prevention, testing, and then the treatments. Now, we brought some people on that had some very interesting ideas in terms of treatments. Now, Dr. Moskowitz was talking about using prednisone, which they use obviously for asthmatics. I mean, I'm used to it. It's a very powerful drug. And frankly, I hate to say it, it works. Okay, now he's been using it for his patient, it works. But of course, you have to go through clinical trials, blind trials, et cetera, to determine, is it really a super effective treatment? And one of the other problems is what stage do you bring somebody in? Because what apparently has been happening, and I just bought one of these meters. My doctors have never told me about it. It's a little meter that you buy, it's $30, and you put it on your finger, and it tells you your oxygen blood level. Oh yeah, those things are... I mean, come on, everybody should have those. And I'm sitting there, I got to learn this through television. But frankly, I didn't take Pathology 101 when I was in high school. And the reason I didn't take Pathology 101 and Epidemic 200 is they didn't offer it. So, unfortunately, I got to try to figure this out by going through stuff myself and say, oh, well, I'll go ahead and buy it because how can it hurt? Because a lot of the people that come into the hospital have low blood oxygen levels and they don't even know it. Now, as asthmatic, I can tell you, I actually feel it. Okay. I've been down that road before. So, and he says asthmatics do really well because they recognize when their lungs are going bad. The real problem is people that haven't had, respiratory illnesses. They stumble in the hospital and they're going, this guy should be dead. And then they put him on a ventilator. And of course, the ventilator has an 80% probability. 80% probability you're going to die. That's not good odds. I like to play the odds. Okay. And so what you want to do is basically increase your odds everywhere to being safe. Okay. From your own personal health to your own personal safety, then the treatments that are available. And I'll tell you this, Dr. Ramesh, one problem I have researching treatments is trying to find them and even rank them or quantify them. Now, when it comes to football players and sports people, I can go to the internet, they know everything about them. Okay. When it comes to medical treatments, I go to the internet, I try to research, I'm finding nothing, and I know it's out there. In other words, it's extremely difficult to find things. So it's very frustrating. I believe there are some things out there like what Dr. Moskowitz was mentioning, using prednisone as one effective tool, but there were other effective tools I've seen out there that are being used right now to reduce or mitigate the coronavirus. But the information is really, really hard to find. So anyway, Lynn Shepard has joined us from our sponsor from the dollar store. Lynn, can you tell us what's going on with the dollar store?
Well, we don't have the oxygen things that you put on your fingers.
I wish you did.
What you're telling me, I love coming on this program, Nick, because I learned so many things from all the people that are on the program.
Right.
And you're telling everybody things that we don't hear otherwise.
Yes.
But anyway, we'll talk about the dollar store, and then I'm going to ask a question or two from you and Dr. Ramesh. But the dollar store, we have lots of things on the dollar store, but we love the mission of Money Masters, which owns IBM.TV. And that mission is to be able to bring financial education to young people, starting originally with people who are in underprivileged communities, and to help them get out of ghetto situations or other type situations by learning financial responsibility and financial information that they wouldn't otherwise learn. But as we've discussed before, I have several grandchildren who are still in junior high school and high school, and both of them need to learn the same kind of thing. So I think it's just a wonderful, wonderful mission. The Dollar Store is an online store. We deliver right directly to your door, unless you live in a community like I do, where we don't have mail delivery, but that's okay. At least by the way, my community, and I found this out the other day, knock on wood, is the only community in Pennsylvania that does not have a case of coronavirus. And yet we all go to the post office to pick up our mail. But in any event, we deliver right directly to the door if you have mail delivery. We deliver for free if you order over $25 worth of product. If you become a customer, just sign up to become a customer, you get $5 worth of prospective discounts through our rewards program that you can then use on your very first purchase. So all you have to do is sign up, and immediately it goes into your account. And when you go to your checkout cart, you can just put in the $5 and bingo, you get a $5 discount. But every purchase over $10 gets an additional $1 discount per $10. So for every $10. So why not? It's a great program, and people want to do it. We do not have, Nick, as you and I have discussed previously, and Ankit knows, and Dr. Ramesh probably has heard me say, we wish we had toilet paper, but I'm curious if you even found any toilet paper when you went to Costco. No.
No toilet paper in the United States. It doesn't exist.
I think everybody in Australia took the toilet paper that we had before we even had a chance to buy it. And that's probably part of it, but oh well. But we have lots of other things. Kimberly, if she were on today, would show you the masks that she likes to buy to use on her face. She talks about the fact that we have them for $2, when if she goes to a store to buy what she normally buys, it would cost anywhere from $15 to $25, depending upon what she buys. So it's a great store, lots of products. We even have CBD. Just put a CBD patches on this past week, so that if you have pain, I've been told by my grandkids that I'm a bit of a pain in the neck. I'm not sure it'll help that, but anyway, we can try. So just go on, become a customer. Just sign up to become a customer. You don't even have to be a customer yet, and you'll get $5 worth of discount points to be able to apply to your first purchase. So there you go, Nick.
I would like to step or maybe list some Ayurvedic products on Dollar Store so that people in America and maybe around the world can utilize it. What do you think about that?
So, well, we can list some. I mean, if I go to my website, which you can't see, but we have all sorts of stuff. We have stuff in home care, office and school supplies. We have CBD supplements. Actually, people, instead of having to buy a 30-day supply of CBD, can buy a package of 1 or 2 or 4 capsules, or 2 patches. The 2 patches we have, by the way, we sell for under $4, and to get 4 patches from Amazon costs you $20, just under $20. So it's really quite a savings. We have well, Nick would like this because we have snacks, and Nick, I know, likes snacks. So we have plenty. We have food, especially for kids. Like my one grandson still lives off campus in Charlotte at UNC Charlotte, and he stayed there because he has to do programs with his roommates He's in computer engineering. So they need food. Why not? They don't have to go out. They can just order and have it delivered right there. And especially kids, because they'll eat anything, as we probably know. But watch out, Nick, because they might order all the snackies, and then you won't get them.
Kids will grab it. Yep.
Yeah, we have kitchen stuff, we have decorations, toys for kids, we have hardware, accessories, stuff for pets. We have some pharmaceuticals. I should talk about the soap because I'm sure that I don't know whether Dr. Ramesh was on yesterday when Dr. Yu was on, but I have a friend who did studies. He studies chemicals, and he said soaps, particularly Dove soap and Dawn soap, are really great because they suds terrifically. We have them. I'm using them. I like a particular one that's on there. Comes with made from nuts in the soap. But the Dove soap is really good for you. And I never noticed how much differently it suds versus some of the other soaps. So we all ought to be using something like Dove or Dawn, which are really great. And Dr. Yu confirmed that yesterday when we were on talking here. And we have stuff for autos, we have apparel, seasonal items, Halloween stuff is still up on the site. So maybe they're thinking we're going to start wanting to buy because we're all going to be closed in next Halloween. Who knows? But so Ankit, did I cover them all?
Yeah, almost we have covered all. What I was asking is that can we list Ayurvedic products from India on Dollar Store?
Can we list the products from India on the Dollar Store?
Yeah, and especially Ayurveda. I'm talking about Ayurveda.
I'll have to ask Rex. Maybe one day Rex Maida, who started the Dollar Store in 1996 and who owns the name. Okay, maybe what we need to do is to invite Rex to come join us and talk a little bit about the Dollar Store. I know he and I have talked about the possibility of having an online store in India. Okay, so it does require a lot of reprogramming, and he would have to do that. But and by the way, I'm sure there are products from India, but 60% of the products that we have come from the United States, which for people here in the United States is an important thing because they're ordering products from home and helping their own economy. So there you go.
Yep. And
yes, Nick.
yeah, the thing is, the person who founded the Dollar Store online is actually from India.
He is from India.
So the thing is, but he doesn't have any of his Dollar Store online open in India. They're all open in the United States. So they service the United States. Ultimately, I'm sure he's going to open up a Dollar Store online in India. Because what happens is you order everything online and they just drop it to your house, which is the way of the future, at least here, even on restaurants. Because the last week, I just order online and they drop the food off, or I go pick it up. And it becomes very convenient rather than having to go to a restaurant, sit down, eat the dinner and all that other stuff. So we're seeing a big shift toward everything online. And it looks like it's going to continue because remdesivir and hydroxychloroquine both failed their clinical test as of 2 days ago. So the thing is, here's what it means for us. It means like Groundhog Day, you're going to see a lot more winter. Okay, but quercetin, I think it is, quercetin, the IBM's actually mainframe did an analysis and gave 77 possible solution, and one of them was one that Dr. Moskowitz, I think, talked about, quercetin or something like that. It's like it's some sort of natural. You can actually get it if you eat grapes and strawberries and things like that. You can do it naturally, or you can actually buy little pills and get that. But it was number 5 according to IBM's mainframe, as being a way to prevent the coronavirus. And I thought that's pretty impressive because IBM ran their mainframe. It's called Summit. It actually is a big computer. It's this supercomputer in Tennessee that cranks data all the time. And what that does, it ingests and cranks data. It came up with 77 possible solutions, and quercetin was number 5. I don't know where prednisone ranks, but when I did my research, it looked like it also was a potential. Nothing's a game changer, but certainly a way to be a treatment. However, in terms of remdesivir and hydroxychloroquine as a solution, it looks like that all went down. So the reality, because there was a physician on who's a physician in Minnesota, he goes, here's the reality of this. If you're looking for a solution, look about 18 months from now. In other words, this is going to go on for a year, which means, remember, you can't go tell the virus to stop. It ain't going to stop. Okay, which means that who's going to have to adjust? The virus isn't going to adjust, so who's going to have to adjust? We are going to have to adjust. And that's
Absolutely.
a hard one for people to digest. We are going to have to change our ways because the virus is going to change their ways, or you're going to end up in the bloody morgue, especially if you're over age 60, you're suffering from diabetes, hypertension, asthma, doesn't matter. Your mortality rates just skyrocket from 60 to 90. It goes like every 10 years. It looks like it doubles your mortality rates, and everybody else just gets real sick. But something we don't know is what the permanent damage is of the virus. In other words, it apparently attacks your lungs, number 1, but heart, number 2. And we don't know what the permanent damage that may take place because it's too much of an unknown. So when I was talking to Kim and Ankit about doing this show, I said, this thing's going to be around for a while. And I said, well, at least a couple months. But now I'm thinking it's going to be around for a little longer than that. And here in the United States, they're trying to reopen. Let's go back to normal. And see, the thing is, I think you're going to see a real upsurge. There's a theory that the hot weather will stop it. I don't think so, but it may mitigate it. Somebody said there's no studies on it. There was a study actually by MIT, but again, the way the study is conducted, data and studies, you have to look at how the study was conducted, and it wasn't peer reviewed. Very important, obviously, for all the doctors know you got to have a peer review studied. And they admitted it, the MIT people, but it was an empirical study saying, well, the hot places in Africa don't have coronavirus as much. The data all shows that. That's true. But data can lie to you. Here's lie number 1. They may not have been tested. Seriously. They're in Africa.
Absolutely.
They didn't be tested. So you don't know. So even though it shows that, it doesn't mean that we're looking at true data. Number 2, they may not have been infected, but I don't think that's true. So it's not conclusive. How will we know is if you do see a decline in July and August, perhaps the coronavirus, like a lot of viruses, don't do well in the hot weather. They tend to break down, and when people sneeze, the sneeze doesn't go too far because the humidity drops it. This is the theory behind why viruses don't work in hot weather. But here was the problem that Dr. Fossey was saying, and the CDC. Great. Let's say it goes down in July and August. What happens in October of next year? November, December? It goes skyrocketing right back up. Along with what they're worried about, another flu, the normal flu patterns along with the coronavirus. In other words, we see a dip in July and August, then we said skyrocket back because how this thing grows is just unbelievable. I mean, the data, to watch the data go, because Ankit, you and I were talking about this a month ago, and I said, in the United States, there were only maybe 10,000 cases, but when we were looking at the data and the increase, I said, this is going to be 1 million by the end of the month. Guess what? We're 900 and change, and we're not at the end of the month. And so I think the United States is going to hit the 1 million. But here was the other thing he was saying, the CDC. Well, we may only see the tip of the iceberg. Why? Because 1 million is less than like 1% of our population. In other words, the amount of people we've had tested and infected is like 5% of the population. If this grows to a critical mass, 50% of our population or 60, where the virus goes away only because the virus can't infect everybody because everybody's been infected, then it's a whole different story. In other words, this may be the beginning of a sad story, not the end, which everybody wants to see the end, but they're not going to see it. So healthy lifestyles, yes, that's very important. But that would be a reversal of everything we've done here. Dr. Segoo would be out of business, but like I said, if he came in the South, he'd go bariatric surgery. I could do that all day here. So, I mean, it's just the name of the game. So I think we're going. Ankit, I think the show's going to be around a little longer.
Nick, can I share?
But
yes,
I can't believe what happened in Georgia, because Georgia, I mean, the governor and the mayor wants to open the state, and then they wanted to open the parlor, the bowling alleys, the nail spa, the gyms, and all those things.
Yep.
And now we are seeing a hike in the COVID cases in Georgia, especially.
Yeah.
May I take leave? Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, I have to go also. God bless. Hit the green button on IBM.TV and come to our dollar store.
All right. Thanks, Lynn.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Doctor.
Dr. Nick, I have something to share from India. I just spoken to the health ministry people, and they have given some information about the plasma therapy.
Yeah, plasma therapy. Yes. What's the story?
So it's a very good and the satisfactory information from the plasma therapy, because see, there is no vaccine, there is no treatment, and what we are thinking that this salt can be a better solution or better treatment, but really the plasma therapy they started doing the result also. So today in India, 3 hospitals started plasma therapy. One is ILBS Delhi, SPG Global Karnataka, and ICMR. So 10 patients cured in Delhi within the 8th day, actually, with plasma therapy.
Right.
And it's a very, very fantastic result as such. And now the other hospital like SPG Global and ICMR, they've started giving the plasma therapy treatment, but they have not yet received any result right now. But they're hopeful that this result would be a perfect result. They are very confident right now. So I really want to thank to Drug Control General of India, Dr. V.G. Sumani, that he as a head of the regulatory body in India, they have given permission on fast track. They supported a lot, and the one doctor who is Dr. Sareen, and these people are very much aggressive, proactive, whatever you want to say, the brilliant person. They have done these things in a very systematic and managed way. Until now, we are very much satisfactory with the plasma therapy. So I really praise Dr. Vijay Sumani and Drug Control General of India and the other people, those who are working as a team. So plasma therapy is the better solution right now, proved in India here. So must be same cure, and the result would be around the world, I think so.
Yeah, I think that would be the leading therapy. In other words, plasma therapy right now. In other words, before you're looking in the future, I thought remdesivir would be one of the leading therapies, but now it looks like that's not true. And hydroxychloroquine, I thought, was just a joke.
Again.
But plasma therapy, stem cell therapy, to me, that stuff makes sense as a therapy, just empirically. Because if you're able to get the antibodies of the people, especially that have gone through this and are basically cured for the most part, it can come back, but for the most part, again, you're playing the odds, then it would probably be the best form of treatment. And I think really what we have to develop before the vaccine is effective treatments, at least somewhat effective. No treatment's going to be 100%, but having a plasma therapy, a stem cell therapy, a prednisone therapy as a treatment may not be a bad way to go, at least from what I've seen and read. The real problem I'm having, Mohammed, is trying to pull the information off the internet and get rid of all the bad information. It's hard to do, to find out what is the leading therapies that are out there right now. It's really difficult because the treatments are being done around the world, but getting the consistent information is difficult.
A lot of doctors in India, what they are doing is they are focusing on boosting the immunity so that the person can fight with the COVID. So suppose if someone is suffering from COVID, so they are giving those radical medicines. Apart from that, they are giving them the best available food and also trying to boost the immunity in some way so that that person can fight the way back, and they can drop their COVID cells, maybe deactivate them for a certain period of time, and then in the meantime they can have those vaccines and available things ready. That is also what's happening around.
Right. Yeah. And the thing is, yeah. And the thing is, since it is being tested around the world, I don't know who compiles the information and publishes the information. It seems to me the information is really difficult to get. It's not compiled in one central place. I thought we had a World Health Organization where information studies are compiled and presented.
So you know what happened to who? Because the US started, ignoring the funds, and they are not putting the funds. And here comes China. They are funding the WHO, and they just give $30 million to WHO. So you know what's happening.
US alone contributes 400 to 500 million dollars to the WHO,
Right.
whereas China only contributes 30 to 40 million dollars. So it
Yeah, but
matters a
now,
lot. And why WHO is listening to China?
but Mohammed, you won't believe that I think China have given this extra fund to WHO in this current situation because USA have refused to give them, and I think most of other countries. So China is fulfilling whatever he can as a country to WHO. I think it should be. We don't have to say on a public platform, but it's more. I think governed by China rather than the world.
Ankit, money hardly matters. Main thing is the trust. So once we lose the trust, we lose everything.
Yeah.
See, right now, world is facing life and death. And if something coming question mark on the WHO is a big thing. It's a matter of trust. So whom we can trust on that? We cannot trust on the prime minister. We cannot trust on the president. We cannot trust on the global leaders. To whom we will trust? So WHO is the main body right now here to take care of the whole global community. And it's a very big questions.
Yeah.
Even then, China is supporting. So China is supporting is wrong way actually.
Mm-hmm.
China should clarify first why they have hidden the information.
Yeah,
because of that, we are facing this situation right now.
Yeah,
Am I right?
but that's true. But the thing is, see, that should be a separate discussion.
Absolutely, agree.
As
Totally
opposed
agree.
to funding. See, the real problem is
Absolutely.
you're connecting funding with a event that may be a misdemeanor type event, but you're connecting your funding to it, and you really shouldn't do that. It should be separately discussed.
Absolutely.
Okay. In the meantime,
to see a lot of countries are not still learning from what happened to other countries. You remember we spoke to Stephanie a couple of weeks back, and they had very minimalistic cases, and now you can see they have thousands of cases and of cases reported every day, and they have around 1,300 people died so far.
Right.
So I'm surprised why we are not learning and doing the best possible things to protect the life of people. I think. A lot of people. Yes.
I just want to share my information, my personal experience as such. See, I just repeating right now. I diagnosed pre-diabetic condition in 2016, and my glucose level was 411. So why it was happening with me? Because I was not sleeping on time. So I changed my lifestyle. Firstly, I started taking 8 hours sleep, perfect 8 hours sleep. Second, I started taking foods on time, and I tried to get those food that can take care of the immunity first. So these two things were very important. And third thing, what I changed in my life, I started taking the water frequently. So these things made me very strong, very energetic. And after 2016 and 2020 right now, I am very energetic and I have no symptom of diabetes. So what I want to convey to the global community, immunity is our own property. The way we care the some land, some buildings, some business, we have to take care our health first. We are working for the wealth first right now. So we have to take care the health first on priority, and we should know how the health will be impacted on the basis of food, on the basis of rest, on the basis of if we will not be take the right food, we will be forced to take the medicine on that. So we have to have the understanding of best food, the balanced food, or you can just say the super food. and
Mhm.
timing of taking the meal, lunch,
Yeah.
breakfast, everything. It is mandatory thing,
Yeah.
and we should know how to burst the stress. We are not bursting the stress. So
Yes.
stress, what we do, they are just giving our immune. They are giving our immune very, making me weak to the immune actually.
Mhm.
So we have to take care of all these things. These are mandatory. So only these immune system can help us, because vaccine is not the solution. As Dr. Philip already has informed us, uh, these vaccines are having the molybdenum, mercury, and some other toxic material as well. They might cause some death. Our immune is the best friend,
Yeah.
so we have to take care of the immune first. So awareness is very mandatory. Awareness is very mandatory. What to eat, what not to eat, what to do, what not to do. It's mandatory things.
Yeah, and the real problem is that means that we have to ourselves make changes. People don't like to do that, Mohammed. In other words, the thing is, it's much easier just to be given a pill, the vaccine, let this thing go away. But I don't see the vaccines coming around anytime soon. Now, of course, it could change, but right now, there's nothing out there. The treatments will come first, and yes, and so the treatments, the plasma treatment, stem cell treatment, maybe prednisone treatments will come, but what it does is mitigate it. Germany, though, they said the reason they have a higher success rate than the United States is testing. And that's one reason I bought this little thing. I'll show it to you as soon as it comes in. But I remember as an asthmatic, what it does is you put your finger and it measures um, your your oxygen in your blood. I don't know how it does it, but it does it. And they said the thing is, in Germany, they test people for that all the time. In the United States, they come into the hospital and their blood um, oxygen level is way down. They're almost dead to begin with. The doctors are going, I don't even know how you're able to walk in here. You should be dead. And so what happens because of that lack of testing, a simple test, really, where you could have coronavirus, but you could be okay. But remember, it comes on real quick. But if you had that little test, with your finger, and then whether or not your oxygen level is going down. Now, as asthmatic, I actually feel it because I've had enough of these problems over 37 years, more than that, maybe 40, 50 years, that I actually feel my oxygen level going down. It's really weird. Your lungs get tight and you start feeling a little woozy, you need to go see the doctor. And then, you know what they put you on, though? Here's what I found out: prednisone and albuterol. In other words, the same stuff I got in my house. And so I go, well, I haven't had to go to the hospital since then because, well, when I feel like that, I take prednisone and albuterol because that's what they're going to do when I go to the hospital. There was no magic pill, What's happening is the non-asthmatics, this is the first time they've had severe respiratory illnesses. They're coming in way too late and they're dying. Because the thing is, the doctor, if you come in too late, whatever they put you on, prednisone, albuterol, it just isn't going to have the effect. So I think educating people on that is really important. And Germany has a better success rate in terms of death because they test. They go, okay, everybody, we're going to make sure, know if you have it. And if you do have it, know what to do, and if you're getting into trouble real quickly, you have to be put on some preventive, of course, like prednisone, albuterol, know about. But also, what you're talking about is plasma therapy from somebody who has the antibodies. Empirically, it seems like that would work, assuming that you're able to get the plasma without any rejection. You see, so I would think
And
something like that would work.
Germany is the only country in the world who tested first. And
Mhm.
because see, there are two types of patient right now. One is having the symptom, and second is not having symptoms.
Right.
So on Germany is the only country in the world who tested first. And second thing, they started giving permission to make a move to the only person who has given the positive result in especially the immunomodulator immune system actually. They
Right.
tested the immune first. So if the person is having the good immunity, they can make a move somewhere else.
Hmm. Right.
So when we talk about these parameters in India, Maharashtra is the only state in India that conducted approximately 20% test of whole Indian population.
Hmm.
They are the pioneer. That's why Mumbai and Delhi, they are having the good amount of patients, where 75% patients are asymptomatic. They do not have symptoms.
Right.
And it is mandatory to have the oxygen device that can monitor the oxygen. It is like that. It is like that very simple device. It is
Yes,
not that one, but this simple device. The
that's right.
moment we put on the finger, they
Right.
gives us the result. What is the parameters?
Right.
So
Actually,
oxygen level is very mandatory right now to understand the severity of the patient.
Correct.
True.
Right.
So
Yes.
I should praise to Germany and those who are giving priority the test, like South Korea and Singapore and some other countries as well.
I would like to play this video where scientists are rushing to create the coronavirus vaccine around the world. So we'll get to know what's happening in the research area.
Experts, scientists are our best hope to end the coronavirus pandemic. Research labs around the world are racing to create a new vaccine. The idea is to simulate an infection while avoiding the possibly severe symptoms of COVID-19. Once vaccinated, our immune system should destroy the virus if we are exposed to it. According to the WHO, there are currently more than 60 teams of scientists working on a vaccine. Under normal circumstances, it would take more than 10 years. But thanks to previous research efforts, there is a chance this process may be fast-tracked, with human trials already underway in some cases. But scientists agree that it will still take months until a vaccine is approved. When will a corona vaccine be ready? A vaccine that enables us to resume our lives without restrictions while protecting us from the disease. I'm afraid we need to be patient and keep our distance for a while longer. And let scientists do their job, like here in Berlin, where a biotech company comes up with promising results.
Berlin is... Hi. Have you always wanted to learn to code but don't know where to start? Would you like to make amazing websites and apps and bring your...
It's empty.
Came the commercial.
Are staying at home. But these lab technicians can't work from home. For them, there's more work than ever. The chemists at the JPT peptide company are regarded as systemically important, since what they're producing here could speed up the search for a coronavirus vaccine. We're creating peptide-based tools that enable the vaccine developers to monitor the immune systems of patients in treatment and to track them over a certain period of time.
Patienten zu messen und über einen Zeitraum zu monitoren.
Peptides are amino acid chains that make up proteins. This company creates hundreds of thousands of them and assembles them so that they resemble the coronavirus's most important surface proteins. The scientists have been working on this project since January. Their work will contribute to...
Looks like it blanked out the sound. Oh, can you hear me, Mohammed?
Yeah, listening to you.
Yeah, okay, yeah, because I was also following my RNA-based vaccines.
The virus. This, in turn, encourages the immune system to develop antibodies. Then, if the real coronavirus strikes, the person would be well equipped and able to defend himself or herself.
So it looks like no matter where we're going, we're looking at antibodies.
Being developed here. JPT's technology has already been used in the fight against the Zika virus and Ebola. The Berlin-based company is indirectly involved in the race for a vaccine, since it belongs to BioNTech, a German company at the forefront of the vaccine race. But for JPT, it's not about competition.
Ich glaube, das ist falsch ausgedrückt.
I think that's the wrong way of looking at it. At the moment, it's really about getting a vaccine onto the market. It doesn't matter who does this in the end. It's about making a contribution, and maybe being among the first to do so. But right now, it's truly about fulfilling the ethical duty to help. The technicians here seem to feel the same way.
Ja, auf jeden Fall.
Yes, absolutely. You think you can contribute to making people healthy or even healing them. It's very motivating.
Ja, schon.
Yes, sure. But I do have mixed feelings. On the one hand, I'm afraid. On the other, I know I have something important to contribute. It's exciting.
Es bleibt spannend.
It certainly is. A new test could be ready soon, and many are placing their hopes in the effectiveness of an mRNA-based vaccine.
Invest your time in the career of tomorrow. Enroll in Purdue's postgraduate program.
At Purdue University. Okay.
The whole world is waiting for a vaccine. But even though at least 60 teams of researchers around the globe are working to develop one, no one expects a rapid breakthrough because producing a vaccine goes through several stages, and that takes time. Now, in a first step, the virus and its effects on the human body are analyzed. Now, this is necessary to determine the composition of the vaccine. Potential vaccines are first tested on animals, and later on, this procedure is followed by testing human volunteers. Now, if all those tests are successful, the vaccine has to go through a lengthy approval process, and only after that, mass production can begin. Now, this process usually takes up to 15 years, but thanks to new technologies, development can go a lot faster today. And for more, I'm joined by Klaus Zichotek, president of the Paul-Ehrlich Institute. That's the German Federal Institute of Vaccines and Biomedicines. Good to have you with us. First of all, should a COVID-19 vaccine be fast-tracked? And if so, what stage would be best to skip?
Definitely, we have development, and there's nothing to skip, but rather to combine, which means we're given highest priority at the Paul-Ehrlich Institute to the developments and to our regulatory advice. And in terms of, let's say, shortening the development time, what we're doing is there are a focused number of animal studies that have to be done. For example, general pharmacology, toxicology, or defining the dose in animals that will be applied to humans in the first step. And then, of course, we also have to combine clinical trial phases. So there's discussion whether some of the developers would combine phase 1, phase 2, or phase 2 and 3, and increase maybe the number of general subjects that will be enrolled in these studies. But we need to be very careful with the assessment and with the development as usual. But of course, we can concentrate, focus, and shorten time.
All right. Well, time, of course, is of the essence of all those studies underway at the moment. Which one is the most promising, you say?
Well, I think we need a variety of COV-2 vaccine developments. What we're prioritizing currently, and also the developers are prioritizing, is RNA, DNA vaccines, and also vector vaccines, because they have the advantage that we know exactly which parts of the genetic information and safe genetic information of the pathogen can be included in the vaccine. We know this from preparatory research work also at the Paul-Ehrlich Institute on most coronavirus vaccines. And in that respect, I think we're safe.
Okay, but what about production capacity? But developing a vaccine is one thing, but then once we have it, will there be enough for everyone? And should everyone get it?
I think, first of all, those who are at risk should get it first, at risk for severe causes of COVID-19, but also at risk for being infected, maybe at more risk than others. And number two, manufacturing will be no issue. Specifically, the RNA and DNA vaccines can be manufactured in a large amount of doses in quite a short time. We're talking about 1 million doses or so within a time period of 4 weeks, and that's the real advantage of these new vaccine platforms, as we say.
And by the time we have a vaccine, the pandemic will quite probably have peaked. Are we actually working on a vaccine for a future pandemic?
Yes, we are. I think we learned already from the Ebola epidemic that we had in West Africa. We're taking these kind of learnings to the development here of the SARS-CoV-2 vaccine, but we will use the time in any case to develop these platforms so that we're ready and quicker ready than this time to have a vaccine if the next pandemic may arise.
I'm Professor Zichotek from the German Federal Institute of Vaccines and Biomedicines. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Now,
Can I comment something?
Your questions, and please do keep them.
Yeah, do you want to pause that, Ankit?
On Twitter or via email.
See, I'm well aware about the bioequivalence study and clinical trial study because I have hand-on experience for that. So, the simple way, this is a very simple way to understand every common person. What is the procedure and what is the timeline for that? See, preclinical is the first stage that conducts on the animals. And it takes minimum, I'm talking about the minimum time period required. 28 days is required. But for 28 days preclinical trial, we have to have all the things organized on the time. So we can add up 1 week more, 5 weeks minimum required for the clinical trials.
Right.
And then we go for the safety study. Phase 1 clinical trial is simply a safety study. It may be of 2 to 4 weeks of time. We can take the 1 month also. Then comes phase 2 and phase 3. Phase 2 and phase 3 are especially for the efficacy of the drug. It again, the phase 2 takes minimum the 1 month time. But when we talk about the phase 3 clinical trial, it takes minimum 2 months of time. So altogether, when we combine, minimum 6 months time is required for a clinical trial. And to organize these clinical trials, maybe 1 more month. So 7 month minimum time period is required. Even we are moving towards on the fastest way actually.
Right. Yeah.
And then see, it depends on the regulatory body also because they have to assess, they have to finalize. Sometimes it takes even 1 year of time giving permission.
Sure.
Sometimes they might give the permission within a month of time.
Right.
So maximum time period required for giving the final approval for the production of vaccine or any treatment, it might take 7 to 8 months of time. Then
Yes.
then production can be started away.
Yeah, right. Because the other thing is you don't know the short-term and long-term effects of the vaccine. So the thing is, everybody thinks the vaccine's going to be out in the next couple months. Forget it. I mean, I'm looking at sometime next year. A lot of commentators have said the same thing. Sometime next year. So what's going to be available between now and next year? Treatments. In other words, there will be certain improvements in treatments, and also the testing, and that's where Germany was real strong at. And having everybody tested, having those little blood oxygen things, and yeah, there you go, and educating people on testing. But here's what I've seen in our leadership: nothing about that. In other words, it's almost like chickens with their heads cut off. But they're the wrong people leading the conversation. It should be medical doctors and the PhD, MDs who actually do the work, which is what Ankit, you just showed. Remember I told you a long time ago, I said the people who actually do the work you never see because they're usually MD, PhDs, and all they do is research in universities. I mean, seriously. And they don't really do anything other than that. They're almost sitting so far in the back lines, and they don't want anything to do with the politicians, to be honest with you, because the politicians have a real hard time with veracity. They're just trying to tell the truth and be straight. They're not very good at it,
Yesterday we had a guest, Dr. Arthur Apollinario from North.
Yes, I listened to him yesterday. Who's really? Are you talking about the guy from North Carolina?
Yeah, and he said that. Yeah, and he said that all the research and all those things are going on at CDC and at university level and research level. But the frontliners to see the patient or diagnose the patient are the family physicians, basically.
Right.
And so you won't find any research from them.
Yeah.
So they should be the ideal one who are doing the research and then follow up that research with other research companies. And he was I think he was dead sure. I mean that whatever symptoms or whatever frontliners can do, research people can't do at the back of the research lab.
Yeah. Where'd you get that guy from, Ankit? Where'd he come from? Do you know?
I'll tell you after the show.
Okay, tell me after the show, right? Because I was listening to the show yesterday. I thought the show was really good. You had a lot of good people on. Frankly, the show yesterday was better than CNN. I was very impressed. I was going because I was listening to CNN simultaneous, listening to IBM TV. So I'm trying to get the information from CNN and IBM TV. Then I realized the people on IBM TV are better than the ones at CNN. Because of who was talking there. Today they had a really good show on CBS with the Face of the Nation. They had some really good people on. So I'm trying to follow some of the other shows and see what they're talking about, and then following the internet, trying to find the information. But Germany seems to be the leader because of the testing, and see, they have to explain to the American public the importance of that little oxygen test. In other words, see, the American public doesn't know. Yes, they don't know that. I ordered mine. I'm going, hey, look, I should have had that years ago when it first came out, because every asthmatic should have that, because I know when you have an asthma